Half marathon training continues, and so does the rain.
Well, it's the start of week 4 of the training block. It turns out spring hasn't sprung. Last weekend was a false alarm. Back to miserable grey, windy weather. This is a bit of a deloading week. Although I'm only 3 weeks into this block, at 3 weeks of the first 3 weeks I've run with any kind of intensity for months, and maybe I'm being overly cautious. I want to give my body the chance to recover and adapt so I can launch into the rest of the block with full momentum. Despite having a relatively easy week ahead of me, I really struggled to get out the door today, which makes me think of one of the principles a lot of elite runners seem to have within them, and that's not depending on external motivation, but finding internal discipline to get every run done, even when that motivation has deserted them. It's a massive cliche. Discipline leads to consistency, and consistency is key. So instead of striving for the occasional 10 out of 10 run, you're better off banking a solid block of 8 out of 10s, 7 out of 10s even, but just remaining consistent. So I'm out for my second run of the week. I've even been blessed with a little bit of sunshine and birdsong this afternoon. I've got 8 kilometres of easy to steady running on the slate. Today I want to talk about diet and alcohol. The single biggest change I've made to my food and drink intake during this training block is cutting out booze entirely. I'm not a particularly heavy drinker, but studies have shown that taking alcohol out of your diet can improve your sleep quality, your body's ability to recover, and even aid weight loss. Now, I'm not particularly looking to lose any weight, but as my training ramps up, I'm willing to do anything I can to help my body recover. Sleep is one of the biggest contributors to recovery, so if I can get some marginal gains in the sleep department, hopefully that'll help. I've recently switched to a non-alcoholic beer when I fancy that crisp refreshment while I watch the rugby, and I've found that I get the same sense of relaxation that I do from an alcoholic beer. Turns out that my association with booze and relaxation actually comes from the ritual of popping a can and sitting back on the sofa, regardless of whether there's any booze in it or not. Although, for full disclosure, while I'll be abstaining for this entire training block, I do have a lovely bottle of red on standby, hopefully to celebrate a new PB. Anyway, I'm going to pick up the pace for a few steady kilometres now.
Although I'm limiting my intensity this week, I'm peppering in some steady kilometres and strides to avoid getting rusty.
So, diet. What's changed? Well, nothing drastic here really, because I already eat a fairly healthy diet. So the main things I'm focusing on are hydration, getting enough carbohydrates to fuel my training, and plenty of protein to help my body recover and adapt after it. But how much protein and carbohydrate do I need, and how am I going to manage that? Well, my daily calorie requirement is 2,200 to maintain my current body weight. But on days where I'm training, I'll probably need more than that, and that's where the Lose It app comes in. I'm aiming for carbs to make up 50 to 60% of my daily calorie intake, and this app helps me manage that. So if we take last Wednesday as an example, you can see that I've entered my meals into the app, and I can see my macronutrients at a glance. It's worth noting this is different to race day fueling. I'll talk about that more in another video closer to race day. My protein intake also forms part of these macronutrients, and this app helps me monitor that as well. And on that front, I'm looking for 1.5 grams of protein per kilo of body weight per day. So for me, that's 100 grams of protein per day to give my muscles the fuel they need to recover and adapt to my training and get stronger. And finally, in terms of hydration, I'm a big fan of good old-fashioned H2O.
And that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Save all that spenny electrolyte stuff for race day and possibly the toughest of training sessions. Basically, I could get really scientific about my diet and hydration, but I think what I'm doing is a happy medium which will allow me to maximise the effectiveness of my training while balancing it with a busy day-to-day life. And on that note, this ride's over now, so it's time for me to hop off the bike, onto the sofa and watch the rugby. Come on, you Sarries!
Well, I'm out on my Sunday long run. I'm desperately trying to forget the result of the rugby yesterday. At least the morning's been brightened up with a bit of sunshine. Definitely the right decision to jump on the bike yesterday. My leg's still feeling pretty heavy from Friday's gym session, so I obviously overdid it there. And I need to take the same patient approach to my strength and conditioning as I've been taking to building up my running intensity. Lesson learned. Hopefully I can shake off that DOMS over the next hour or so, and I'll be ready to start ramping things up again next week. I hope you've enjoyed some of the insights into my training in this video. And if you have, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.